The Battle of Quebec, fought on September 13, 1759, was one of the most decisive engagements of the 7 Years' War, a global conflict between Britain and France that extended across multiple continents. This battle was particularly crucial in determining the fate of New France, the French colony in North America. The British, under the leadership of Major General James Wolfe, had been besieging Quebec for months, launching repeated bombardments and raids in an attempt to weaken the city's defenses. However, Quebec's position on high cliffs overlooking the St. Lawrence River made it nearly impregnable, and the French commander, the Marquis de Montcalm, felt confident that his defenses, supported by the difficult terrain, would hold against any direct assault. Frustrated by the lack of progress and aware that winter was approaching, Wolfe devised a bold and highly risky plan to launch a surprise attack by landing his forces west of the city and scaling the steep cliffs leading to the Plains of Abraham. In the early hours of September 13, under the cover of darkness, British troops silently embarked on small boats and made their way down the St. Lawrence River. They landed at a narrow, unguarded cove now known as Anse Foulon and began the treacherous ascent up the cliffs. Though the French had posted sentries, the British managed to take them by surprise, quickly overwhelming them and establishing a strong position on the plateau above. By dawn, Wolfe had deployed approximately 4,500 of his troops into a well-organized battle line, facing Quebec's walls and ready for combat. Montcalm, initially uncertain of the scale of the British presence, made the fateful decision to engage them immediately rather than wait for reinforcements. His force, consisting of around 4,500 men including regular French soldiers, Canadian militia, and indigenous allies, hastily advanced toward the British lines. Unlike the disciplined British formations, Montcalm's troops were not well coordinated, and many of the Canadian militiamen and indigenous warriors were accustomed to irregular, guerrilla-style warfare rather than conventional European battle tactics. As the French approached, Wolfe ordered his men to hold their fire until the enemy was within close range. When the French came within 40 yards, the British unleashed a devastating volley, followed by another shortly after. The disciplined musket fire of the British regulars shattered the French advance, causing confusion and disorder in Montcalm's ranks. Within minutes, the French line broke, and their troops began to retreat chaotically toward the city. During the engagement, both commanding generals suffered mortal wounds. Wolfe was struck 3 times, first in the wrist, then in the stomach, and finally in the chest. He collapsed on the field but lived long enough to hear that his forces had won the battle. Montcalm, also gravely wounded, was carried back into the city, where he died the following day. With the French army in disarray, Quebec soon surrendered, dealing a devastating blow to French control in North America. Though sporadic fighting continued, the fall of Quebec effectively signaled the beginning of the end for New France. The following year, the British captured Montreal, and in 1763, the Treaty of Paris officially ceded most of France's North American territories to Britain. The Battle of Quebec was not just a turning point in the war, it reshaped the geopolitical future of the continent, paving the way for British dominance in Canada and setting the stage for tensions that would later contribute to the American Revolution.